So last session we done the discussion with these all the topics, like what does it mean by pop language. Basically the programming language are divided into two types. One is the processor language, and the examples are C, COBOL, Pascal, and second one is the object-oriented language, that is called OOP language. Okay, so examples for this OOP language is the Java, C++, Python. These are the examples for the OOP language. Okay, so after this, so basically OOPs, we can say in some books like OOPs is having the six pillars. Okay, class, object. These four are the principles: inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism, and encapsulation. These four are the principles. In the last session, like we done the brief introduction of all the principles, like what does it mean by encapsulation and what does it mean by abstraction. Encapsulation, basically we can combine variables and methods into single unit or entity, is called encapsulation. Okay, we can achieve the encapsulation using the with the classes. Okay, and okay, and next abstraction is, what does it mean by abstraction? Basically it is hide the unnecessary data and provide required information. Provide required information, or you can say required data. Required data. Okay, required information or required data. So basically here the thing is, you can achieve the abstraction using the interfaces and abstract classes. Okay, basically the examples are, we will not bother about how the car engine working internally, so no need to bother about how the engine is working internal. Next, polymorphism. Poly means many, morphism means behaviors. Okay, morphism means behaviors. So for example, one person, if the definition for the polymorphism is, if one object exhibits multiple behaviors based on the situations, multiple behaviors based on the situation is called polymorphism. Okay, is called polymorphism. And then next, inheritance meaning it is the process of extending the properties from one class to another class. Okay, it is the process of extending the it is the process of extending the properties from one class to another class, from one class to another class, from one class to another class. Are you guys clear with my points, sir? Another class. So in the inheritance, again it is divided into five types: single level, multi-level, hierarchical, hybrid, so and multiple inheritance. So these are the topics we done in the last session. Also we done with the what does it mean by class and what does it mean by object as well. Okay, class is a plan or model or template. Class is a blueprint of the object. Class is used to declare the variables and methods. Project contain collection of classes. Basically class is the keyword which is used to create the class. Okay, which is used to create the class, okay. Next, class you can create number of objects. Okay, so this one we will write in object class. Next, in case of object, so any real world entity, you can say example for the object. Okay, object exists physically, but class does not exist physically. Class does not exist physically, this is just imagination. Okay, now class does not exist physically, object exists physically. Object will create classes. So for creating the objects, classes are mandatory. For creating objects, classes are mandatory. Classes are mandatory. Without classes, we cannot create the objects. Classes are mandatory. And one more point I will write here. I will give some space, then we'll get some clarity on it. Okay. without classes without classes we cannot create objects. Are you guys clear with my points? Now new is the keyword which is used to create the object. Okay, new is the keyword. Already you know how to what are the keywords we have. How will you write the keywords? So keywords, all characters should be in the lower case only. So new keyword which is used to create the object. Create the object. So create the object. So creation of object meaning, this is the syntax for the, like new is the keyword which meaning the object we are allocating some memory in the heap memory, and this object you cannot directly reuse anywhere. So that's why this object will store in some reference variable. That reference variable name is the s. Okay, now object creation meaning jvm allocating the memory. Okay, this is the syntax for the class. Okay, and here today we'll discuss what is hash code. What is hash code? What is a hash code? Hmm? Hmm. So basically, hash code basically generally when you are creating the object. So this are you guys clear with these points? Like new is the keyword which is used to create the object. Okay, this is the syntax. This is the syntax, right? So normally what will happen, for one class we can create number of objects. Okay, for one class we can create number of objects. That is also one point we can add here. For one class, that point you can write here in object. Okay, now I can come here. For one class we can create for one class we can create number of objects. Are you guys clear? Now if you see here, public class, and this is the main method, and here I am creating one object. So what is happening when I am creating the object? Basically I will show you by using the ms paint, then we'll get the clarity on it. Now simply I will take the ms paint. You already guys aware of JVM architecture. Now we can come here. Now, so you can think you have the class like this. The class name is, I would say, public class demo. From here to here, this is the scope of the class. And then next we have the main method, that is public static void main. So here I would like to take the string args. Now from here to here, this is the scope of the main method. My point is, for one class we can create number of objects. So normally how will you create the object? By using which operator? New operator. So you can take the new operator and then we can create the object. Are you guys clear with my point? What will happen when I am creating the object? So we can able to create the object by using the new keyword. What will happen inside the JVM architecture? You guys already aware of JVM architecture. When I am creating the object, where the object will be stored? Objects will be stored in the heap memory. we can come to the heap memory. We can assume this is the heap memory, and then this is the heap memory. I would like to take this object will be stored in the heap memory, which meaning, so I can take one more object, one more circle. So this is the object. This is the object. Are you guys following? This one is the heap memory, heap area, heap memory or heap area. Now you can say this is the object. Object got created. This one. When you are using the new operator, then in the JVM one object will be created. This object is demo object. This is the demo object. This is the demo object. But this object we cannot directly reuse anywhere. Okay, that's why we are mentioning one reference variable. So here also we are mentioning one reference variable. That reference variable name we can give anything. This is the reference variable name. This is the reference variable name. Reference variable name. Reference variable name. Okay, we can give anything. So here also I am giving that reference variable like as the some s, like you can take some demo, some d you can take. This reference variable have the data type, that is the class. That is the class. That is the class. Are you guys clear with my point? Okay. The JVM is allocating the memory based on address of the object. Generally, what will happen here internally? So whenever you are mentioning the new operator, so the JVM will provide one address of the object. Address of the object meaning it is allocating somewhere in the heap memory. Somewhere in the heap memory. Are you guys clear with my point? So the address of the object meaning that is the path of the memory path in the heap area. Okay, and then so first JVM it will allocate the address of the object, meaning the object will be stored based on the address of the object. So address of the object. So for this address of the object, internally the JDK people will write one formula. They will write one formula. Based on this formula, so based on the address of the object, so for every object will maintain, every object contain hash code. Hash code. Are you guys clear with my point? In the interview perspective, they will ask like, what does, what is the difference between the hash code and address of the object? Okay, address of the object is the memory location. Okay, hash code is the, for every object it will maintain one hash code. One hash code. How the hash code they are preparing based on the address of the link. Based on the address of the link, they are preparing every object. They are preparing the hash code. Are you guys clear with my point? So the address of the object is the different, hash code is the different. Okay. So address of the object is the, I would say, memory location of the object, and hash code, every object will maintain unique hash code. Unique hash code. Okay. Now if you see here, this is the, for one class you can create number of objects, right? Now you can see I will create one more object also with the new demo, and I'm storing this one. This is the D2. I am mentioning D2. D2. Should I create like this? Then what will happen? This object will be stored inside the heap memory. The same process. It will be stored inside the heap memory based on the address of the object, and then so based on this address of the object, so they will write, JDK people write one formula. Based on that formula, it will generate one unique hash code. But unique hash code. Okay. So here, what does it mean by hash code? Basically, the first point is JVM will assign unique hash code. JVM will assign unique hash code for every object. Unique hash code for every object. unique hash code for every object. For every object. Okay, fine. Then okay, you are saying like for every object, the JVM provide unique hash code. Is there any proof? Is there any proof? Yes, we have the proof. I will show you the proof. For example, now I will come here. This is the test.file, file, right? I'm opening this one. This is the program we written in the last session. Okay. Now if you see here, this is the scope of the class. Now I am taking the main method, public static void main, and then I can take the string and auth. Okay, and from here to here, this is the scope of the class. Now for one class, we can create n number of objects. N number of objects. So how will you create the object? The first step is, how should I create the object? Using new keyword. You new keyword demo, and what will happen? Object got created inside the heap memory. Okay, inside the heap memory. You can assume this picture. When I am mentioning this one, object got created inside the heap memory. So this object should I use anywhere in the program? Directly we cannot reuse. So that's where we will mention one reference variable. Okay, we will mention one reference variable. Okay, so here what I am doing, this object I am storing in some reference variable d1. Okay, and I am mentioning demo object. So what will happen here? We are creating an object. We are created. We have created object. Okay. Now, so in Java, one more point also we need to remember. The point is, if you take the child class in Java, if you take the child class, for example, you can assume if you take the child class, so for every Java class have the parent class, that is the object class. Okay, that is similar to parent. Okay, if you take any class in the Java class have the one parent class, that is the object class. That is the object class. You so going forward we'll be having the inheritance topic. So in the inheritance topic, basically, like if you inheritance topic, whatever the methods are available in the parent class, those methods you can use in the child class and some other class also. Okay, so why I am saying this inheritance topic as of now? Why? Because so if you take any Java class, for example, in my case I am taking the Java class as the demo, right? So demo is also having one parent class, that is the object class. Object class is the predefined class. So object class is directly or indirectly parent for all the classes in Java. I will show you. I will open the document and then there I will show you. You can come to the documents, Java SE. You can look for the Java SE document. Java SE document. You can come down. These are the classes. Class loader. We have the class loader. Where the class loader did you observe? Class loader in the JVM architecture, right? JVM class loader is the one predefined class actually. What it will do? It will load dart class files into the JVM. So class loader is also one predefined class actually. Okay. This is the object. Okay. If I click on the object, now if you guys observe, can you please read this statement? Next, what does it mean? In Java, if you write any class, any program, so object is the superclass. Object is the superclass. Okay, so this is the class, right? Class is the combination of methods and variables. Okay, Now if I come down, if you observe what are the methods are available, clone method, finalize method, get class method, hash code method, notify all, toString method, wait method, next wait method, notify all method. Total 11 methods are available. Total 11 methods. 3, 6, total 11 methods actually. If you see here, hash code method. Where hash code method is available? Hash code method is available in where? In object class. In object class. Okay. So any class, if you are writing any program in the real time or at the time of practicing, so these methods you can use directly. These methods you can use directly. Why? Because so for every class, object is the parent class, right? So the parent properties you can parent properties you can use whenever you want. You can directly you can reuse. Now my requirement is what I am telling is every object JVM will allocate as assign the for every object unique hash code. Is there any proof? Yes, we have the proof. I will show you. You can simply come to here and this is the class and main method. Okay, I have created an object. I have created one object. Now I want to know so which hash code the JVM has to allocate it for this object. How can I know? So we can use the hash code method. Hash code method. So d1 dot hash code. Hash code. So where this method is available? Object class. If I want to use the object class methods, we can directly reuse. We can directly use those methods. Okay, no need to mention the import statements. Okay, no need to mention anything. Why? Because this is the parent class. These methods you can use directly. Now I want to print hash code. For that purpose, you can take the sysout statement. Inside the sysout statement, you can pass the hash code. For example, now I will take the system.out.println, system.out.println. Now I would like to take the same hash code. This one I will copy from here. I will copy from here and then I will paste here. Are you guys clear with my point? Now here I am closing the parenthesis and then I'm saving the file. I'm saving the file. Okay, I'm saving the file. Now, where the file location is available, you can simply come to the file location and then you can look for the CMD. Okay, you can look for the CMD. Now, I can mention with Java C. Next thing is demo.java. Next thing is Java demo. If you observe here, it is giving some code, right? So, what is that code? This is hash code. Every object, the JVM will assign the one unique hash code for every object. Okay, this is with respect to one object. Okay, for one class you can create number of objects, right? Now we can observe what I will do. Now say I'm copying this again one more time. I will create object. You can observe internally. The internal you can analyze the internal process. Object got created. Again object got created inside the heap memory. Again I am storing with reference number D2 and this reference I would say data type is the class name. Okay, so what will happen? Object got created inside the heap memory. That object I am allocating D2 reference variable. This D2 reference variable data type is the class name. Okay, this is with respect to object number 2 and we'll see with respect to 2 demo and then we can mention with now. So object got created. This object I am storing in some reference variable and this data type is demo. Okay, now you can come here, you can compile the file and you can execute the file and you can see the result. It is not save the file actually. Save the file. You can mention system.out.println, right? You can take the same statement here, save, change the numbers D2 at D3. You can save the file, come to command prompt, compile the file, execute the file. Now you guys observe, so it is printing the same or different? Different meaning every object will maintain unique hash code. Every object will maintain unique hash code. So this the proof is clear. Now I will go to the document. Hmm. The first point is JVM will assign unique hash code for every object. Okay, second point is no two object have same hash code. No two objects have same hash code. Same hash code. Okay, same hash code. Okay, fine. That is the third point. And so third point is how will you get? You can get the hash code by using object class. You can get the hash code by using java.lang package, java.lang object object class, where we have the method, where we have the method where we have the hash code method. Are you guys clear with my point? We can get the hash code by using java.lang.object class, where we have the hash code method. So with the help of hash code method, we can find out the unique hash code of the object. Unique hash code of the object, right? The node point is here. The node point is java.lang package is the default package. Java.lang package is the default package. Default package. So for example, this is the program, right? If you want to use, I will go to the java.lang package. One second. Ah, simply I am coming to the document. Okay. Now these many packages are available, right? Among these packages, java.lang package is the default package. You like it or don't like it, this is the default package. Default package for every class. If I click on the java.lang package, these all the classes we can reuse in our project without mentioning the import statement of that package also. Are you guys clear with my point? Clear or not? This is the default package. No need to explicitly, no need to mention import statement. Okay, why? Because this is already default, right? No need to again explicitly, no need to mention. Whatever the classes are available under this package, these all the classes can reuse in our programs directly. No need to mention explicitly. Okay, now object is also coming from the java.lang package, right? So that's why I'm not mentioning any import statement. I'm not mentioning any import statement. Why? Because this is already predefined package. If you mention import.package also, that is fine. If you not mention, that is the default package. That is the default package. Are you guys clear with my point? So hash code is also coming from the package is java.lang package. This is the predefined method coming from the predefined object class. Predefined object class. So I am using the predefined object method, and with the help of this method I am getting the hash code. I am getting the hash code. Okay. These all the classes you can directly reuse basically. Okay. Now the thing is, okay, fine. Okay. Uh, the topic name is what is hash code. Basically, hash code JVM will assign unique hash code for every object. Already you guys aware of what does it mean by object, and no two objects have the same hash code, and we can get the hash code by using the java.lang package where you have the hash code method. With the help of that hash code method, we can achieve hash code. Okay. Next note point is java.lang is the default package for every program. For every program. This is clear, guys. And here one more important point also. What is garbage collection? In some interview perspective, they will ask garbage collection meaning. For example, for this we can assume this is one class, right? This is the one class. For example, you created for this class 100 objects. Among those 100 objects, you are using only 5 objects. So remaining 95 objects, it is we are allocating some memory, right? But we are already allocating the memory, but we are not using that. What the garbage collector it will do, so it will identify unused objects and it will delete automatically. It will identify unused objects and it will delete automatically. But garbage collector is not under control of developer. Okay, whoever is writing the I would say Java programs, garbage collector is not under control of Java developers. So that is the default one. Okay, that is the default one. Garbage collector is the default one. So the functionality of garbage collector is it will identify the unused objects and it will remove automatically whatever the unused objects we have, it will remove automatically. So that is the purpose of the garbage collector. Garbage collector is not under control of Java developers. So that is the default one. That is the default one which is in the JDK. That is the default one. Okay. Now, okay, fine. So we're done with the hash code. I can come here. So hash code is clear, and what is whenever we are creating the object, what is happening internal process is also clear. Okay. Now after this, we have the topic that is types of variables. We have the topic that is types of variables. Okay. Now already you guys already aware of variable. So variable which is used to variables which are used to store the data, right? Store the data. Normally this is the in the data type, and for example if you mention like this, here this is the variable initialization. Variable initialization. Okay. So basically variables are divided into three types. Variables are divided into three types basically. Three types. Okay, what are the three types? What are the three types? First one is instance variable. First one is instance variable, and second one is static variable, and third one is the local variable. Third one is the local variable. Third one is the local variable. Instance variable also called as global variable. Instance variable also called as global variable. And we have the and one more name also, that is the non-static variable. Non-static variable. Okay, these are the multiple names we have for the instance variable. Okay, so basically already you aware what does it mean by variable, and then what are the some programs we done basically, right? Some programs we did in last around 2 weeks. Okay, now today we are discussing about the types of variables. Types of variables. Variables are divided into three types. Okay, instance variable, global variable, non-static variable. Okay, and second one is the static variable, and third one is the local variable. Okay, so we'll try to discuss in deep instance variable. We'll go with one by one, then we'll get the clarity of it. We'll get the clarity of it. So the first point is what does it mean by instance variables? That is the basic question, right? So the variables, the definition for the instance variables is the variables which are declared. The variables which are declared. the variables which are declared inside the class and outside the method, inside the class and outside the method is called is called instance variables. Are you guys clear with my point? The variables which are declared, the variables which are declared inside the class and outside the method is called instance variables. Instance variables. Now second point is, now if you see here, the instance variables also we are calling global variables, right? Why you are calling as the global variables? Meaning instance variables we can access, instance variables we can access, instance variables we can access all the methods available in the class, all the methods available in the class, all the methods available in the class, all the methods available in the class. Okay, and the third point is, this is clear guys. Now normally this is our program, right? This is our program, and this is the main method. So instance variable meaning the variables declared inside the method, inside the class and outside the method. Now we can see here, I can come here. Here I will mention some int age I'm declaring, and for example here I would like to mention string name. Okay, where the objects are available, where the variables are available inside the class and outside the method. Now can come here. Okay, so the first point is clear. The variables are which are they are presenting inside the class and outside the method. Second point is the instance variables you can access all the methods available in the class. Okay, and third point is initialization of instance variable. Initialization of instance variables is optional. Are you guys clear with my point? So should I initialize here? That is the mandatory? No. For example, if you come here, should I initialize? This is optional. No, this is mandatory. No, this is not a mandatory. This is optional one. This is optional one. Third point is initialization of instance variable is optional. Okay, initialization of instance variable is optional. Okay, fourth point is instance variables also called as, instance variables are called object level variables. Instance variables are called object variables, are called object level variables, object variables. Okay, object variables. Instance variables are called object variables, object variables. Okay, now so instance, next point is, if you don't initialize the instance variable, if you don't initialize the instance variable, if you don't initialize the instance variables, if you don't initialize the instance variables, instance variables, JVM will allocate default values. JVM will provide JVM will provide default values. 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 Okay. Next. Next point is, so every, this is the very important point, and if you understand, it is very easy point. Every object maintain copy of the instance variable. Every object maintain copy of the instance variable. Copy of the instance variable. Are you guys clear with my point? Every object maintain copy of the instance variable. Copy of the instance variable. Okay. Now I will show you practically. You can come to the file. Now initialization is optional, right? I'm not initializing here. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Now these two are which objects? These two are instance objects, right? Instance object. Okay. So instance object you can access with the object only. Instance object we can access with the object only. For example, that is also one point we can write here. Instance variables, instance variables, instance variables we can access with objects only, with the objects only, with objects only. Okay, with objects only. You can come here, the file, and now I want to access these two variables. We can create the object new demo, and then this object you can store in some I would say reference variable name, and you can mention some demo. You can mention some demo, and now what I am doing, I am calling the what I am calling d dot age. I am calling the d dot age. Now if I want to print this d dot age, then directly I can take the sysout statement. Inside the sysout statement I can mention system dot out dot println, and what is the default value for the integer? 0. What is the default value for the string? String null, man. Hmm. So now if you observe here system dot out dot println, and here d dot age, d dot age I am mentioning d dot age. Okay, now if you see here, I am not initialize my variable, right? I am not initialize my variable. You can observe clearly I am not initialize my variable. Now I am come to cmd. Now I am compiling the file demo.java. My file has successfully compiled, and it is returning the 0. It is returning the 0 because if you don't initialize, if you not initialize any value with the instance variable, then what the JVM will do? The JVM will provide default values. Default values. If I take the double, then it will provide 0.0. If I take some other any other byte, it will provide the 0. If I take the short, it will provide the 0. If I take the string, it will provide the null. If you don't initialize the instance variable, the JVM will provide the default values. Default values. Okay, and so here the point is, this is the very important point. For example, if you see, every object will maintain copy of the instance variables. You can come to the program. Now this is the one object, right? I am mentioning d1, and then I am mentioning this is also d1 name age. Okay, here I am mentioning some Raju. Okay, and then one more object I am creating new. I can mention with the demo, and this reference variable name I am storing as the Rani. Okay, Rani, and then this Rani. Uh, Now, if you see here, I'm not initializing the both Raju age and Rani age. System dot out dot println. Okay, here I would like to mention Rani dot age, and then here I would like to mention Raju dot age. Raju.h. I am saving the file, and I am coming to the command prompt. I am not initializing, right? Then if I compile and if I execute the file, what should I get as the result? Huh? 0. Default values it will provide, right? So it will provide default values. That is clear. So I will compile and then I will show you clearly. You can get the clarity on it. So I am compiling the file, and then I am executing the file. I am getting the 0 0. Okay, so my point is here I will comment every object will maintain copy of the instance variable. My point is every object maintain copy of the instance variable, copy of the instance variable. Okay, Radu is the object, right? Reference variable. Every object will maintain copy of the instance variable. If I not initialize the instance variables, then it will provide default values. Now what I am doing, I am passing some age. I am passing the age. Raju dot age equal to 20. I will mention some 25. I will mention some 25. And here also some Rani age I am passing. Rani age I am passing. Rani dot age equal to, I would like to pass some 20. 20 will pass some 20. Okay, I'm saving the file. And then what should I get now? The result. Here the variable is the one, but I am creating two objects. But one with is respect to Raju, second one is with respect to Rani. My statement is every object maintain copy of the instance variable. Okay, this is the one object. It will maintain instance variables one copy. That is the separate. That is belonging to with respect to this object only, and this object also will maintain copy of the instance variable. Copy of the instance variable. Are you guys clear with my points? Now, if I save the file, now I can go there. Now I can compile the file, and then you can see I am getting 25 and 20. I am getting 25 and 20. How I am getting? I am initializing. I am passing. Yeah, Raju age is the 25 and Rani age is the 20. Rani age is the 20. Okay. If you not assign the values, then JVM will assign with the default values. If you don't like the default values, you want to assign your own values. At the time, you can go with like this. How will you go with? This is the very important point. Every object maintain copy of the instance variable. This is the one object, and here I can pass the Raju details as well. Some like Raju, which institute, or else the Raju is belonging to the Raju. All the properties I can pass here by using object. By using the object. Why only I am using the object? Why? Because every object will maintain copy of the instance variable. Okay, clear? This is clear, guys. So you can come here. Uh, so access totally where we can call. We will use any books if you read the some books. So some books they will mention invoke and call. So the three words purpose is the same. Three word purpose is the same. We can call as the access, we can call as the invoke, and we can call as the call. So three words purpose is same. Okay. Now these are the points belong to instance variable. Now here the node point is if you create two objects, for the class for class, so JVM will allocate two times memory for the object. JVM will allocate JVM will allocate two times memory for the objects. Memory for the objects. This is clear, guys. Are you guys clear with my point or not? If you don't initialize the instance variables, then JVM will provide default values. Already you guys are already aware of what does it mean by default values for the data types. Okay. Every object maintain copy of the instance variable. Okay. If you create the two objects for the class, the JVM will allocate two memories for the two objects. Two objects. For example, if you create the five objects, then the JVM will allocate five memories. Five memories. If you create the 10 objects, then JVM will allocate the 10 memories. Okay. Uh, Instance variables we can access with objects only. So that's why we are calling. That's why we are calling. Instance variables are called object level variables. Object level variables. This is clear with respect to instance variables is clear. So if anyone will ask the question on the types of variables, you need to answer. You need to answer. Okay. This is clear. Second one is the static variable. Static variable. Okay. So the first thing they will ask, what does it mean by static variable, right? Static variable basically variables which are declared variables which are declared inside the class, variables which are declared inside the class and outside the method with the static keyword, with the static keyword with the static keyword is called hmm static variables, static variables, static variables. Next point is so here I can tell the JVM will allocate the memory when the dot class files when dot class files when dot class files load into the JVM, load into the JVM, then the JVM will allocate the memory. Then JVM immediately, JVM immediately, it will allocate memory. It will allocate memory for the static variables. It will allocate memory, memory for the static variables. Okay, this is clear, guys. Normally what will happen now here, they JVM has two friends actually. Okay, one is the very close friend is the for example, you can assume in your home you are doing some function, you invited two friends. Okay, one friend is very close friend to you, and second person is also your friend but not close. So they, you invited both of them. They're also, so as per your request, they're also coming to your function. Then how will you treat those two persons? Hmm? How will you treat how will you treat those persons? So normally, obviously, you can treat as your best friend as a you are allocating some memory. First, you will give the first preference to your best friend, right? So here also in the Java, the JVM has two friends. One is the instance variable, second one is the static variable. So static variable is the very close friend to the JVM. Okay, so whenever the dot class files are loaded into the JVM first it will look for the static words enter the program. Okay, so it will find out any static words enter the program. Immediately it will allocate the memory for the static variables. Static variables. Are you guys clear with my point? Immediately it will allocate the memory for the static variables. But instance variables not like that. Whenever you are creating the manually objects, then only it will allocate the memory. Okay, so JVM has two friends. One is the static variable, second one is the instance variable. Static variables are very close to the JVM. So that's why whenever the dot class files are loaded into the JVM, immediately it will look for the static keywords and then it will allocate the memory for the static variables. But in case of instance variables, it won't do like that. Whenever you are creating the objects manually, then only it will allocate. Okay, so that is with respect to static variables and instance variables. Okay, when where like static variables we will use, like the next point is all static every object maintain same copy of the same copy of the static variables, same copy of the static variables. Okay, I will tell you this one clearly, then you know we'll get the clarity on it. Now you can come to the program. We will write one program, right? You can come here. Now here I am taking some persons, like we have the Raju and Rani and some Madhu. Okay, I would like to write the one program based on their details. So I am taking their age. Okay, very good. And I am taking their names, string name. Okay, very good. And one more thing, I would like to take their institute name. Institute name, institute name. Okay, you guys can observe Raju is the one object, meaning the person is exist physically. Rani is also an object, the person is also exist physically. And Rani is Raju and Rani, they both are in same institute, but their names and their age is the different, right? Okay, so I can write like this also. For example, Raju age 25, and next thing is Raju dot name. Here I can again I would like to mention some Raju. Okay, Raju, and then again Raju institute. Raju dot institute name. Some I would like to mention some such. Okay, Raju and Rani also available in search only. We'll mention search. Now, okay, fine. Raju age is 25. Raju name is Raju, and this is the reference variable name. Okay, and institute name is the search. Institute name is the search. Okay. Now the same scenario can come down. Rani age is the 20. Rani name is I'm mentioning Rani. Okay, and then Rani institute name. Rani dot institute name. Rani dot institute name also search. Okay, this is with respect to two students. We can assume 10 students. So 10 student is having the different age. 10 student might be having the different names. Okay, but the 10 students are studying in same institute, right? So should I write like this by using the instance variables also? Should I write like this? So if you can observe, if I write like this, if I run the program, I can get the result. But if I go this approach, so all the persons studying in the same institute, right? Then why should I write all the times? Why should I write all the times? If I write like this, that is also valid. That is also, if I execute, that is also run, and you can get the result. But what will happen? What is the drawback? We are allocating the memory, right? So it will occupy some memory. It will increase the lines of code also. Okay. So that's why what we are doing basically, whatever the common topic, if you observe here, the Raju and Rani, so both common thing is the both common properties, which one? Institute name. Then why should I write again and again? If I write again and again, then what might be the issue? It will increase the lines of code. That is the one drawback. Second one is the we need to allocate memory for each line, right? Each line, right? Why we are writing? No need, right? So that's why whatever the common content, whatever the common properties for all the students, we will mention with static. We will mention with static. So that's why what I am saying is every object will maintain same copy of the static variables. But in case of instance variables, every object will maintain ah every object will maintain copy of the instance variable. But in case of here, every object will maintain same copy of the static variables. Same copy of the static variables. Are you guys clear with my points? Are you guys clear with my points? So here the next point is ah we are dart class files into load into the JVM. Then what the JVM will do? It will identify the static words, and then immediately it will allocate the memory for the static words. Okay. Then it is already allocated in the memory. Then how will you access the static variables? How will you access the static variables? We can access the static variables by using the class name. Why? Because already the dart class files are already loaded into the JVM. We are not created any objects. Okay. So whenever you are calling the static variables, you can access by using the class name. So that the next point is we can access static variables. We can access the static variables. We can access static variables by using class names. By using class names. What is the syntax for this one? The syntax for this one. Are you guys clear with my point? when will you go with static variables? Static variables meaning wherever the common property for all the objects. At the time you can go with static variables. At the time you can go with static variables. The syntax for the static variables meaning you can take the class public and then you can take the demo and which is declared inside the class and outside the method. Outside the method meaning you can take the main method. Okay. Now you can declare with the static keyword. Okay. You can come here. Mm, the same thing here also. Initialization is optional. Okay. Initialization is optional. You can mention here also. For example, you can come here the file. You can come here. So you can pass. You can pass. It is common topic, right? Directly you can pass here. Search and then double quotations. And here one more point also. The static variables which is present in the same file, then you can directly call the variables. If it is the directly static method, directly you can call. Now in this case, what I will do here is the class name is the demo and dot this property name you can mention there. You can mention inside the system dot out dot println. System dot out dot println. Here I am passing the institute name. Okay, and then I am saving the file and then I am coming here and then I am compile the file and then I am executing the file. Then I am running the search. Search 2520. Search 2520. Are you guys clear with my points or not? Are you guys clear with my points? So that is with respect to static variables. So static variables are very close friend to the JVM. JVM first it will allocate the memory for the static variables based on the static keyword, and then whenever you are creating the object, so then only the JVM will allocate for the instance variables. So memory allocation also very important, right? Memory allocation also very important. Mm. This is with respect to static variables. Now the third thing is with respect to local variables. Local variables. Okay, local variables. The first point they will ask the basic question, right? Variables, variables which are declared, which are declared method, inside the method, or you can say block, or you can say constructor, or you can say constructor is called hmm, local variables. Why you are calling the local variables? We'll see one by one. Local variables. Okay, the second point is called local variables are called local variables. Local variables are called temporary variables. Temporary variables. Why you are calling the temporary variables? We'll see one by one. Okay, temporary variables. So it will allocate the memory. So local variables, before using the local variables, before using the local variables, local variables, we have to initialize. We have to initialize local variables. We have to initialize. Once again, live is coming or not coming. Check. Live is not coming. Are you guys clear with my point? Local variables are called temporary variables. Okay, and then before using the local variables, we have to initialize the local variables. Okay, local variables. Then how the memory section will be there? So how the JVM will treat the local variables? So basically, why we are calling the local variables are called, so JVM will allocate the memory for the local variables at the time of method's execution only. Once the method execution is completed, then the JVM automatically remove the local variables. So that's why local variables are called temporary variables. Are you guys clear with my point? So a JVM will allocate the memory. JVM will allocate the memory. Will allocate the memory. Will allocate the memory. Memory for local variables. Local variables. Local variables at the time of method execution only. Local variables at the time of at the time of method execution only. Method execution only. Method execution only. Once method execution is completed, once method execution is completed, JVM will remove local variables automatically. So that's why uh, local variables are called temporary variables. Are you guys clear with my point? So where the local variables are present, like last 2 weeks we did the programs, right? Where the where we did the programs, all are we did the programs on inside the main method, right? Inside the main method. Meaning, so the variables, whatever the variables are available inside the method, doc constructor is called local variables. So past 2 weeks we did the programs all are with respect to local variables only, like operators, conditional statements, looping statements, everything we done with respect to local variables. We are declaring inside the main method and we are executing the programs, right? So all of the comes under the category of local variables. All of the comes under the category of local variables. So local variables, JVM will allocate the memory at the time of method execution. Once the execution is completed, then it will automatically remove the local variables. Local variables in the JVM. Are you guys clear with my point? So, like in the last 2 weeks, we done all the programs by using the local variables. So, what is the syntax for the local variables? Basically, syntax for the local variables. Syntax. We can take the public class. The class name is, you can take the demo, and from here to here, this is the scope of this one. And you can take the public static void main, and here you can take the string and aux. Okay, from here last till now we did the programs on like int a equal to some 10. Okay, int a equal to some 10, next int b equal to some 20. So what does it mean? These are the local variables. So before using the local variables, you mandatorily we have to initialize. Okay, now we have to initialize. So next point is, so local variables you can use inside the method only. Local variables, local variables we should use inside method only. Inside inside method only. Okay, we can access inside method only. I'm telling some 20, and then here I would like to mention some equal to some a plus b, right? Some a plus b, a plus b. Now here I would like to take system dot out dot println, and then here if I mention some, then what does it mean? These two are these local variables. These two are local variables. Before calling the local variables, we have to initialize. We have to initialize the local variable. Why I am calling the local variable? Because JVM will allocate the memory at the time of method execution, and then when the method execution is completed, then it will remove automatically local variables. Now today, what you guys will do? What are your assignments? Is write a program on write a Java program with respect to Java code. Write a Java program with respect to hash code, and second program is write a Java program. Write a Java program with respect to instance variable. Instance variable. Okay. And next, write a Java program with respect to static variable. Write a Java program with respect to static variables. Static variables. And next, write a Java program with respect to local variables. These are the assignments. 4 assignments you have to do individually. Don't take one file and don't write all in one file. You have to take 3 different files and you have to write in 3 different files. Okay? These are the assignments. Okay? Can you please read all these points? You can read from here. So what is hash code? JVM will assign unique hash code for every object. What is the second line? No two objects have same hash code. What is the third line? What is the fourth point? Next, types of variables. Next, uh, uh, instance variable. First point, instance variable. Next point, instance variable. We can access all the methods available in the class. Next point, initialization of instance variable is optional. Initialization of instance variable is optional. Next, instance variables are called object variables. Next, if you don't initialize the instance variables, if you don't initialize the instance variables, then JVM will provide default values. Already you know default values. Next, every object maintain copy of the instance variable. Next, if you create two objects for class, JVM will allocate two memories for each object. Okay, two memories for each object. Two memories for two objects. Okay, next, instance variables we can access with objects only. Next, called static variables. Next point, when dart class files load into the JVM, then JVM immediately it will allocate the memory for the static files. Already you guys already aware of what does it mean by dart class files. Okay. Next, third point. Every object maintain same copy of the static variable. Static variable. Okay. Next, fourth one. We can access static variables by using class name only. Class name only. Next, this is the syntax for that one. and we'll go with the local variables. What is the first point for the local variables? Variables which are declared inside the method log constructor is called local variables. Next point, local variables are called temporary variables. Next, before using the local variables, we have to initialize the local variables. Next, JVM will allocate the memory for the local variable at the time of method execution. Once method execution is completed, then you remove the local variable automatically. Okay. Next point, local variable we should use inside the method only. So these are the topic. So with this, we're done with the types of variables. Now what you guys will do, we can do the assignments on with respect to hash code, with respect to instance variables, with respect to static variables, and with respect to local variables. Assignments are mandatory. Okay, assignments are mandatory. So that's it today. We'll catch up in the next session.